Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children 18 plus, you are tuned in to the Lone Officer Podcast with me, Dustin Owen, and my main man,
JC.
John Coleman.
Rocking that Ted Baker shirt. No, that's what I am. I'm wearing. That's Tom James.
Yeah, I'm rocking Tom James today. What are you rocking?
Ted Baker.
Okay. Who's Ted Baker?
I don't know. Some guy from London.
Wasn't there a baker? Jim Baker. Jim Baker got locked up. Remember that back in the day?
What was that?
He was like an evangelist, preacher, and he got locked up for doing bad things.
Jim Jones?
I thought it was Jim Baker. Tammy Faye Baker, Jim Baker. You remember any of that, John?
If it's on a documentary on Netflix, I've probably seen it, but no, it doesn't ring a bell.
Okay. Well, similar to Jim Jones, but I don't think he killed anybody.
Okay.
Jim Jones went off and killed people,
Yeah,
right?
he did. Drink his Kool-Aid.
Nope. No, not Jim Baker. But what's poppin', man?
How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Look at our centerpiece.
Yet again, Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell.
Yet again, Malcolm Gladwell. Fantastic book. Outliers. Loved it.
I can tell you, like, the pages are wrinkled. Like, you actually took notes in them and stuff.
Yes. Yeah, I went back and reread certain pages and certain chapters a couple times. But you reminded me, I threw it out there. I kind of threw it out there without thinking. But you know what? If I threw it out there, I'm a man of my word. I'm going to stick with it. This is going to be our centerpiece, John, until a viewer/listener states otherwise. And by states otherwise, look, we're looking for something to feature as our centerpiece.
Yes.
Rob Farragher mentioned he wanted us to change it up.
Yeah, Rob said all that and haven't listened to us anything.
We had our friend up in Kentucky send us a bottle of bourbon.
Yep, even though it's called whiskey. It's bourbon
No, it's
whiskey.
Tennessee whiskey. It's bourbon if it's from Kentucky. If it's from Kentucky, it's bourbon. If from Tennessee, it's whiskey, John.
Okay.
All right, just saying. Just saying.
Okay.
Yep. So we featured that once before, but this is going to stay here.
It's going to stay
I
until,
like the book that much. It's
until you get
which is crazy because my Knights of UCF are taking on the Lizards of Gainesville in the Florida State Championship game.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So you would think I'd be rocking some UCF stuff right about now, all the way through December 23rd. But I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. And look, I'm going to go on record that I'm not, because I said that this is going to stay here. I'm a man of my word.
Okay.
All right. So we promised this last episode. We're going to jump right into it because we need to be cognizant of time. Yeah. There are at least a dozen really good episodes that we did early on before we kind of knew what we were doing.
Yeah.
Right. Both from, we didn't quite have our voice. Mm-hmm. We didn't have our studio set
cadence.
up.
We didn't have the cadence.
We didn't have the cadence. We didn't have the proper technology.
Correct.
Right. Maybe some of the stuff that you bought secondhand off of someone selling it out of the back of their trunk.
You know, maybe.
Mm-hmm. But now that we kind of 185 plus episodes in, we kind of have an idea of who our audience is and how we can continue to grow the audience. Mm-hmm. But there's some good content that you and I are proud of.
Solid shit back there, bro.
That if people are willing to scroll all the way down.
It's far. Have you tried, honestly, if you had to look back, like if you had to go back to like episode 30, it takes a while to like scroll that far.
Yeah. So, it does. And people don't. And people don't. And at one point I was like kind of annoyed that people weren't, but then I was reminded at some point you and I are going to, we're going to like stop coming up with shit to talk about. So we're going to have to start repeating what we talked about. So it actually does us a favor when our viewers only go back 30, 40, or 50 episodes, and there's a whole nother 120 behind it.
I'll tap out right here. I'll just scroll to the top and see what they got for me.
Yeah, we will always have content.
Yes.
So today, we are telling you, we did this show almost 2 years ago.
Literally almost 2 years
But
ago.
it's the end of the year, right? We are in December. We're getting to go into January. And the 12-week challenge is the topic. We're redoing the 12-week challenge. What is it? How do you do it? Why should I do it? And by the way, this challenge is not just for mortgage professionals.
Oh.
My realtor friends, my financial advisor friends, my life insurance friends, my clothiers at Tom James friends, anybody who is in an industry where your job, your role, your responsibility is to generate business, to lead generate. Do the 12-week challenge, right? You can do anything for 90 days, right? You can do anything for 90 days. I might not be able to go a whole entire year without enjoying some adult beverages, but I can do it for 90 days, right? I can sit down and do it for 12 weeks. So a 12-week challenge is something that I can do as a business and sales professional, that if I can just do something consistently and persistent for the next 90 days, it will feed me for the next 9 years. Mind blown. Mind blown. 90 days of sucking it up and being really, really good in order to receive commissions and generate revenue for the next 9 years. And what I'm getting at is the people that you're going to meet and talk to in these next 90 days, these are people that you're going to be working with 9 years down the road. And why do I know it? Because I lived it. Why do I know it? Because I have helped dozens of other originators and dozens of other real estate professionals and dozens of other life insurance salespeople, people that I interact with that are in my circle that I coach, whether formally or informally. And I've introduced them to it, and oh my gosh, it works. You just got to do it. But people are like, okay, well, what is it? Okay, it's a prospecting activity. So we are going to walk through some of the core tasks that are required of you, the salesperson. I'm going to talk to you about how I did it. I did it as a loan officer. My clients were realtors, right? If you are a financial advisor, your client may be someone different. If you're an account executive at a non-QM lender, right? Your clients may be loan officers or branch managers, right? We all have who our client is, but for me, it was realtors. That's who I was trying to call on.
Yep.
And what I did for 12 weeks, by the way, so 12 weeks, Monday through Friday, I did not participate in the 12-week challenge on Saturdays and Sundays.
Okay.
I would reach out to 12, there's a theme here, 12 realtors a day via the written form. For me, there's letters. It was 2004. We were not texting in 2004 the way we do today. And email was still not quite
widely accepted.
Yeah. So I would send 12 letters a day.
Really?
12.
That's great. Okay.
And it was a form letter for the most part.
Right.
And the letter just introduced me. This is who I am. This is why I'm contacting you. This is what I want from meeting with, or I want a meeting. This is what I want from the meeting. And then it stated, I will be calling you by this date. That's where I started. The very first thing I had to do to kick off the 12-week challenge, I had to write 12 letters to, for me, again, my target audience was real estate agents. So really, the first thing I had to do, like the negative one, like before day one, I had to create a list.
Yeah, you identify those.
I had to identify who was I going to call on, right? Because if I'm going to try to meet with one realtor a day, every day for the next 12 weeks, my ultimate goal is that I'm going to end up meeting with 60 realtors. My ultimate goal is that of those 60 realtors, I understand that half of them, although they were nice and although they liked me and I liked them, they don't really sell enough business to be deemed a consistent, reliable, dependable referral partner. So then that left me with 30. And of those 30, look, not every one of those sales calls went well. I might have sucked that day. They might have not liked me. I might not have liked them. So 15 of the 30 that are actually worth a darn, actually we didn't hit it off for whatever reason. That still leaves me with 15. So I'm going to give you a sneak peek right now. The end goal by doing this, if you're a loan officer, the end goal was that I ended up with 15 real estate agents who actively and consistently sell real estate on a monthly basis and actively and consistently have buyer referrals that need financing that they're willing to refer to me. I picked up 15 referral sources. If each of those referral sources, by the way, I started with 60, but I got it down to 15. If each of those 15 were good for roughly 2.5 closings per year, that would tell me that I would have procured an additional roughly 37.5, let's just call it 35 closings. These are closings I would have never had I not achieved the 12-week challenge. Well, when I look at 35 incremental, meaning additional closings that I would have had, and my average loan size is somewhere in that 250 range, well, then I started thinking, oh my gosh, well, how much business is that? Well, that's like $9 million in volume. Well, if I had an incremental $9 million in volume, that means based on my comp plan, I made somewhere between an extra $80,000 and $125,000 just based off of 12 weeks of activity. But what's cool about what I do as a loan officer with my clients being realtors is it's anticipated that those realtors they're also going to sell real estate in 2023, in 2024, and 2025. And some of them are going to be in growth mode like I'm in growth mode. So some of them, I may have only closed 2 transactions with them in 2022, but it could go to 5 in 2023.
Right.
Okay. But for this example, let's just say everything stayed status quo. By me grinding it out, sucking it up, and being consistently persistent with my sales activities for 12 solid weeks. Remember, I said you can do anything for 90 days. I not only made an extra $80,000 to $120,000 this year, but then next year, and the year after, and the year after, and the year after. When you times that by 9 years, that's almost $1 million. $1 million in income just by doing something for 12 weeks. And not just anything, the 12-week challenge. It has the word challenge in it because it's challenging.
Yeah. It's not easy.
It's not easy. So you had mentioned, John, the first place I have to start is a list.
Yeah.
So do you want to know where I started with my list?
The Google machine?
Yeah, but it wasn't Google back then. It was Yahoo.
Watch your mouth.
It was Yahoo.
Yeah.
Maybe even Netscape.
Bing?
No, Bing wasn't even around.
I know, I'm just kidding. So that's what I would say. So if you're new, the first thing my mind goes to, hey, I did the 12-week challenge. I'm in week 2. I've called on every realtor that I possibly know. I Googled it. I don't know where else. Where do I go? Google more?
What market are you in?
There you go.
I mean, look, if you're in Sitka, Alaska, see, you may have called all the realtors in Sitka.
Right.
Right? But if you're in a top 100, top 200 market in the United States, you Google Keller Williams, insert city, you'll get a roster. There's 300 agents on that roster. I mean, there are, in Orlando, there are 10,000 realtors. That means in lesser markets, there's at least 5,000.
Yeah.
Right? Your goal is you're trying to meet with 60. In order to meet with 60, you may have to start with a list of 250 or 300. Right? Because you're going to call, and some of the people, by the way, you're going to call multiple times.
Right.
Right? It takes sometimes up to 7 attempts to make a sale. You're not selling anything, but you are trying to sell yourself and you're trying to obtain a meeting. Mm-hmm. So for me, it was a letter that I wrote. And I wrote 12 letters. And the list I worked off of is I Googled the city. You can look it up. It's Oviedo, Florida, Winter Springs, Florida. Those are 2 cities northeast of Orlando. Mm-hmm. And that was where I was living at the time. And I wanted to keep a geographic area because I wanted to dominate my hometown, dominate my market. Mm-hmm. So I found Century 21. There was like 3 of them. I found Keller Williams. There was 2 of them. I found Remax. There was 3 of them. Right? All of a sudden, I'm like, well, there's 3, 6, 8 that I picked up at the time. It was Prudential. Now they're called Weichert. There's 1 of them. Now I'm at 9. There's a Watson office. Now I'm at 10. I had 10 offices. If each office had 40 agents, that's 400. I'm going to call all 400 to try to find 60 that would meet with me. Right. Now, back then, there wasn't technology where I could actually hone in on their particular production. Today, there is. Right? There's a product called MMI. MMI will allow me to search someone and I can pull up their production. Yeah. I didn't do any of that. Like, that's overthinking it. Right. I literally just sent 12 letters. The letter stated who I was. The letter stated who I worked for, stated why I was reaching out, and then at the very bottom it said, I will be calling you. If today's Wednesday, John, I said, I'll be calling you on Monday. Right. That was my accountability piece. I put that in there because I try to be such a person of my word that even if in the written form, if I told you that I was going to call you on Monday, it kind of helped. It was my accountability partner to myself. Right. I'm like, well, what if they did read it? I didn't think people would read the letter, by the way. I never anticipated them to. But the letter gave me the opportunity to call them. Right. You'd be like, hey, John, this is Dustin over at the time. The company's called Home Bank. Over at Home Bank Mortgage Corporation. How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Fantastic. Hey, man, did you get my letter?
I'm not sure.
Hey, no worries. You know what? Anymore, I'm shocked anyone even goes into the office, let alone reads letters. But yep, I wrote an actual letter to you. I wanted to introduce myself. And then I went into my script. Right? I wanted to introduce myself. I'm at a point in my career where in order for me to achieve the success I'm trying to achieve, I need to do a couple things. 1, I need to find more realtors that I can help sell more houses. So if you're a realtor who wants to sell more houses, I want to talk to you about how I can be a part of that. I also am at a point where I want to surround myself with like-minded professionals who are in growth mode. If you're a realtor who's in growth mode, I want to get to know you. So I'm calling you today because you are a realtor and I am a lender, and there's a chance we could bring value to each other's business. But I won't know that unless I meet with you, John. That's all the letter said.
All right.
I'm looking at my schedule for next week. How does Tuesday or Thursday look? And then I just go right into the close. Like that's, like I may throw something in there where I would say, yeah, I'm with Home Bank. Do you already work with Home Bank? Okay, perfect. I'm glad you don't. That's why I was calling you. My boss actually said, we don't have enough people in your office that are working with us.
Right.
Like, I mean, I had fun with it, right? I threw some crap against the wall to see what would stick. But the purpose of the letter was to have a reason to call. Now, I don't need to use letters. I can use emails. I can use texts.
Question, do you think, though, now in today's day and age, would it almost be kind of cut through the noise if you did send a letter, like handwritten, everything?
I wouldn't do handwritten. That's time, man. Time is money.
Okay.
I need to have it on a Word document where I can just print out. I can make a couple adjustments, print it. I would sign it in blue ink.
Right.
Right. I would definitely sign it in blue ink. And I would definitely handwrite on the
address. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, you could totally do it. Yeah, have fun with it. Play around. Maybe 1 week you do nothing but text. Maybe 1 week it's nothing but email. Maybe 1 week it's nothing but handwritten.
Switch it up.
Yeah, switch it up. Have fun with it. The idea is you need a reason to call. Hey, I'm following up on that text I sent you. I didn't get a text.
Oh, cool. No worries. You must be busy anyway.
Yeah. Oh, cool. You know what? Anymore with all these spam filters that the cell phone carriers are putting out there, I could have got caught up in spam.
Yeah.
That happens.
God, yeah.
That's so annoying. Hey, look.
You go right into it.
I go right into it.
Yeah.
Right. My goal of the 12-week challenge is every single day I need to call 12 realtors to schedule one appointment. Every single day I should be calling 12, scheduling one, and going on one. If I'm hitting doubles and triples, I'm scheduling 2 or 3 and going on 2 or 3. It's the minimum is 60. By all means, feel free to be an overachiever.
Yeah.
By all means, go for 75, go for 90. Right? There's nothing that says that I can't go meet John Coleman at his Remax office and ask him to bring a friend.
All right.
Hey, John, I look forward to our meeting. If there's anyone else in your office that you think I should be connected with, good. I'd love to meet them too. Feel free to invite them. I mean, it's a no before I ask. So I might as well ask. But that is the 12-week challenge. It's like, dumb it down, folks. Keep it simple, stupid. KISS. Keep it simple. And by keeping it simple, I don't care if you use a letter. I don't care if you use a text. And I don't care if you use an email. What the purpose of that is to just make the initial introduction and give yourself a reason to call. You calling is what's important. And then if you leave a voicemail, you should never leave a long voicemail. Ever, ever, ever. Your voicemail should, if you leave one, which I would recommend you leave one, it'd be like, hey, John, this is Dustin over at Waterstone. Hey, please give me a call back. My number is. Hey, John, this is Dustin over at Waterstone. I look forward to hearing back from you. My number is.
Don't vomit on the voicemail.
No. Like, they don't know why you're calling. Now they're going to have to figure out, well, why is he calling me? Does he have a buyer who's making an offer on one of my listings? I don't know.
All right.
Does he have a buyer who needs financing? I don't know.
Hey, this is
John.
John.
He financing one of my transactions and it's going sideways? I don't know.
Well, I won't know until I call him back.
Yes.
All right.
But when they call you back, you thank them. If you get someone on the phone, you use sales tactics and strategies like we learned from Chris Voss with Never Split a Difference, and you ask no questions. You know, hey, John, is now a bad time to talk? You're going to want to say no to that. Okay, great. Hey, I only need 5 minutes. You and I have never had a chance to meet. I sent you an email yesterday. I shot you a text last night. The reason why I'm sending that text, the reason why I'm sending that email is because I'm at a point in my career where in order for me to achieve my professional goals, I realize I have to help others achieve theirs first. You're a realtor and I'm a lender. As a lender, my number one goal is to help you sell more houses.
Damn, that's good.
I can't figure out whether or not I can help you sell more houses unless we meet. You actually work in my neighborhood. Like, I live in Oviedo, you work in Oviedo. I'm really big in giving back to my community and being part of my community. John, you're my community. So I was reaching out to you to see when, not if, when you and I could get together. I want to spend a half hour, buy you a cup of coffee. And then I need to be prepared for all the rebuttals. Now, when you're new, you won't be prepared for the rebuttals. Cool. Yeah. Make your calls. Get the rebuttals. Stammer, stumble, F it up. And then when you're driving home at night, zone out and replay that conversation. And you remember all the things you're like, oh, I wish I would have said this. I would have said that. Cool. Those moments make us stronger. Next time, you'll be put in that situation. You'll know what to say because you played it out in your head.
Right.
Right. But that is the 12-week challenge. You do it for 12 weeks. If I stand corrected here, that's 12 weeks. 7 times 12 is 84.
Don't look at me, bro. I don't know math.
It's 84, John.
I believe you.
So I call it 90 days, a little bit less than 90 days. Right? 5 times 12 is 60. It's only 60 work days. Monday through Friday, 60 work days. The first thing you do is you knock out the 12-week challenge. Your goal at a minimum is you met with 60 referral sources, 60 people who can refer you business, 60 people who know people who need your product or service. Again, I'm telling you the story based on my experience as a loan officer calling on realtors, but insert your industry here, insert your referral partner there, it's going to work.
Yeah.
And then you do it for 60 days, but we're creating referral partnerships that are going to last lifetimes, decades even. And then obviously they're going to grow, right? The individual you first met with, they're going to grow as a professional, which means they have more business to refer you.
Yep.
You're going to have other transactions. Those other transactions are going to bring additional agents, at which point you now have a reason to cross-sell and cross-market them. And then those agents will introduce you to even more agents. And all of a sudden, just because you did the 12-week challenge once, you're a top producer forever. Dang. It works that way. It really does. And expect to suck. And expect to fumble. And expect your first 12 or 15 face-to-face calls to go way worse than your last 15. That's life. Get over it. Like, that is life.
I mean, that's why we're redoing this episode.
Yes. That is why we're redoing this episode. Yes. But that is a 12-week challenge. So when you hear me on previous episodes or future episodes talk about, hey, man, the first thing you need to do is dominate the 12-week challenge, that's all I'm asking you to do. Where do you come up with names? You start at Google. Like, where I'm going to start up with names, I'm going to reach out to my friends and family, and I'm going to ask them for recommendations to realtors. I love warm calls over cold calls. I'll do a cold call all day long. I prefer it to be warm. So I'd rather reach out to everyone that I'm willing to invite to my Mac Daddy wedding, to everyone that I send holiday cards to, and ask them, hey, if you were to buy or sell real estate, who would you lean on? Who would you turn to? Because now all of a sudden, John, if you're my friend and I called you with that script, you're like, oh man, me and Aja, we use so-and-so. Yeah. Now when I call so-and-so, I'm like, hey, my boy JC said that you and Aja, or he and Aja, loved working with you.
Oh yeah, Aja, I love those guys.
Yeah. Hey, look, you're a realtor, I'm a lender. My job as a lender is to help realtors sell more homes. JC said, hey, call so-and-so, whatever your name is, because maybe I can help you sell more homes.
Yeah.
Hey, any chance I could grab 20, 30 minutes with you next week? Is it crazy for me to think that you and I shouldn't get together?
No.
I just asked it. Is it crazy for me to think that you and I shouldn't get together for half an hour? No. Cool. You know, I just saw, shout out to Tim Davis again. I just saw Tim Davis. And I loved what he put up on the big screen. He says your net worth equals your network. Maybe I share that on a sales call. Hey, look, so one of my business coaches that I follow, he has this saying that your net worth follows your network.
Correct.
I want to increase your network so that I can increase your net worth. Let's meet, because by meeting me, you're adding one other person to your network.
Are you not looking to grow your business?
Yeah. Right, but like it's that way. So like you don't have to necessarily go to Google first. Go to your friends first.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If you work in a big branch, check this out. I work in a branch with this guy named Mike Smalley. Mike Smalley is a mega producer. He's also a regional vice president. Mike Smalley helps 200 home buyers a year. Home buyers, not refinances. Home buyers finance their homes. And Mike Smalley is a database king. There are 200 listing agents. And let's say not 200, 120, because some of the listing agents were, the same person multiple times. There's 120 listing agents. I can get with Mike Smalley and say, hey, Mike, of these 120 listing agents, how many do you work with and how many are you calling on? I promise you, Mike's probably going to have at most 40. That he's like, oh, no, I work with that agent. And that means there's 80 realtors that 95% of them, because I know Mike's customer service satisfaction score, it's a 95% 5-star. So 95% of 80, or roughly 72 people, no, it'd be 76. 76 people had a positive experience with my organization. How about that sales script?
Yeah.
Hey, look, this is who I am. I got your name and number from Mike Smalley. He said that he closed a transaction with you. He speaks highly of you. And I'm at a point in my career
Right.
where in order for me to achieve what I'm trying to achieve, I have to help more realtors achieve their goals by helping them sell more properties. Mike told me to reach out to you. Like now all of a sudden it's not me cold calling you, it's Mike.
Yeah.
So for those that are listening and you work in an office where you have some top producers like that, hit up the top producer. Who are they not cross-selling? Who are they not marketing to? Because now that's less of a cold call. But what's most important is that you just do it. You don't overthink it and you just do it. You gotta reach out via the written, whether it's handwritten, whether it's typed out and mailed, whether it's typed out and texted or typed out and emailed. You have to reach out to 12 people a day. You then need to call 12 people today so that you are scheduling one appointment. They need to go on one appointment, schedule an appointment, call 12 people, send correspondence to 12 people every single day for 12 weeks. I promise you, if you complete it, you will thank me. You will thank me, and I will tell you, don't thank me, thank yourself, because you went out and earned it. Now, all of a sudden, you have taken your business to 2 whole new levels. And by the way, if you're a seasoned veteran, you can do the 12-week challenge.
Yeah, you can do it again.
This is not just for rookies.
Yeah.
Look, if you're stuck at 24 million and you want to go to 48 million, 12-week challenge. Better yet, we just did an episode on coming out of refinance market. If you fell into the refi doldrums, which is basically crushing the low-hanging fruit, right? When you like loans were so easy that your pets at home were helping you take 1003s in the past 2 years, and you realize that, holy shit, 65% of my business is going to evaporate next year.
Drying up.
Because refis are going away.
This is a great way to
Go kickstart your 2022 by doing the 12-week challenge. Yeah, it's for everybody. But that's it, John.
Perfect.
Cool.
Word.
Look, John Coleman and myself love what we're doing.
It's really
we
fun.
want to continue doing this. We love hearing from you. Whether you hit us up on IG, whether you message me personally on LinkedIn, whether you start following us on our social platforms. We are on LinkedIn. We're on Facebook. We are on Instagram. We're on TikTok. Just look up at the Loan Officer Podcast.
Yep.
You can subscribe to us and watch us on YouTube. You can subscribe to us and listen to us on Spotify and Apple and Google.
Yeah. Anywhere you get
Stitcher,
podcasts.
anywhere you can get podcasts, right? But we do appreciate it when you do give us a thumbs up, when you do give us a 5-star review, when you do subscribe, and when you do share, because the larger the audience grows, the more excited we get to continue doing what we're doing.
Facts.
Awesome. He's John Coleman. I'm Dustin, and that's all the time we have for you today. We will catch you in the next episode. Peace.